Welcome. Okay. I'm trying. This is like my fifth time starting because sound effects, all sorts of things where I'm just like, I'm starting over. Literally, like, okay, everything's gone. Record. Up. Sounds back. I can't fucking. Like, the world legitimately does not want me doing this. That's it, the resistance to me doing this is so strong that even subtle events without people's intent, see, presumably, become just like. And then I have no fucking money. Like, this is my circumstances, dudes. This is my circumstances. I'm sorry. That's it. Fucking sucks, honestly. Like, that sucks. But this sucks. All of it fucking sucks. My God. Because no one actually cares about what I have to say. And so I'm left to be, like, complaining, even though I'm just fucking pointing out valid statements like, dudes, no one gives a shit about the dude who found the truth. The actual fucking truth. Oh, you don't like that I call it the truth? Yeah, because you're fucking arrogant. You think you know better, and I'm saying shit that you don't know, and you just fucking, what? No. Dude, I found the truth. The scientific truth. I found the theory of everything. I found how the earth expanded and why it expanded that way. I found just countless things that are not even allowed into the conversation because of arrogance. Pfft, I'll fucking put that mirror right in your fucking face, arrogant people. That's what they get. Is they get me reacting to it arrogantly. And what do you mean? I wasn't doing anything arrogantly. Fucking arrogance. Like, if people weren't arrogant from the start when they encountered my research, I could have been, like, not in this position. But I just, along the way, have faced just stubborn, set minds because everyone's concluded they understand, even in a scientific world. I'm talking about the scientific community who are the ones who are proclaiming, oh, we're the free thinkers here. We think things through. You guys just arrive at things casually. We think things through here. We're scientists. But, like, do you, though? Do you even know that the Earth expanded? Do you even know that the Earth expansion is a possibility, let alone that it did expand? Doesn't work under plate tectonics. Like, it's that big of a gap. Pardon me, I don't mean to be complaining now because this episode, which is based on plate tectonics, is excellent information. It's just, I mean, it's based on plate tectonics, so it has some, like, unfortunate things going on where it's like, dudes, plate tectonics not true. Not to them specifically, but to the world. Like, stop insisting on plate tectonics and not even, like, there's this underlying thing going on where expanding Earth is just not giving credence. So, like, papers like this one, which is really not, like, inspecting whether plate tectonics is happening. It is just modeling what that plate tectonics process would entail. It's not like, well, there's evidence that actually shows plate tectonics didn't happen. No, it's just the fuck. That's what we've got. We know plate tectonics, not them, but everyone. Every fucking geology paper that doesn't ever mention the existence of expanding Earth, at this point, that doesn't even question the invalid model of plate tectonics, is just doing the same shit they think like the casual, like, oh, everyone's being so casual. You just fucking believe that Bible, huh? Read that Bible and just believe it. You didn't even think it through. You just drank it up. Not realizing, at least it knows that the Earth was flooded by a global flood event. Like, that shit happened and it's in the geological record, like, globally. Literally. Here's like a flow that generally went this way. Across here, like, flooded. It was over here flooding, so like over here flooding, over here water for sure flooding. Like the whole world was flooded as the Bible says because the earth expanded. And there was a lot of water being released, but then the earth was expanding and it hadn't yet expanded. And so that water raised up and up until it covered everything and the earth was flooded. It happened. And it was in a biblical time frame, and what we're talking about in these circumstances are describing what happened in detail, dude. Oh my god. Just like under the interpretation of plate tectonics, like at some point this is amazing. This, I don't know if they play it right here. I guess let's see. Let's watch it.
Let's let that play again. So, where all the motion occurs from 85 up to...
Okay, 60. Where? Let's see what happens.
50.
Boom. See how it like built this little just like pressure point pushing up into it. Pushing up into it. Here. Here. Here.
Movement here between 100.
Here's just kind of hanging out. Like they're just the one thing is just moving over. The North America is kind of moving into this material, conjoining with it. But there's not like. This is kind of interesting. Like there is a jet coming this way that kind of created some kind of gap, but pressure over here pushed it this way maybe. And then in that time frame we start to see this really taking that shape and then moving like at which point it is then just kind of in place where it stands practically.
And then Yakutat terrain continues to move along the coast.
More just projections in that region. Yakutat. That was another episode.
And we have basin range extension opening in the Gulf of California.
So the Baja BC that you're showing.
Notably, this here, yellow, Guerrero, in this region, if we go back. Yellow, okay, yellow is out here. Yellow's out here, what's that?
Yeah, and then that's we can weird. Just let it run forward. So here's the archipelago. As informed.
Pardon me, sir. I just don't want the multiple sound effects. I know he's playing. Ready, go. Whoa. Here we go. So my thoughts is that this red one here is the Philippines material. Like this material that's physically missing from, imagine that the Philippines was like this once. And then it became like this. And the material is this, which is why it's kind of up here. Whereas this orange stuff, my thought, the insular, is probably then more so from Sulawesi, North Maluku Islands, this region, just based on how they're positioning it paleomagnetically. And then the yellow stuff, I would say, is probably mostly from this location. In a way where it could be, like, checked. And then there's green stuff, huh? What's going on with this green thing? Farallon. I don't really see the Gulf of California show up until there. I don't agree with that. Okay, it's okay. I generally agree. It's just it's too plate tectonics method, because that's what's happening. Is plate tectonics is dictating a lot of things here when the Earth expansion is the reality. So let's go to what I've really captivated me about their work, which I've only barely scratched the surface of, mostly through this episode. Why do I start off recording by just complaining? Okay, I gotta fucking complain. Dudes, some shit happened. Some people weren't nice to me. I wasn't nice either, maybe. Yeah, definitely. Although, like, really what happened is I tried to talk to someone about shalograms being in walls. I was like, did you guys notice how there's a wall with a shalogram in it? These things, like, this, I was like, this collapse here is a little fucking ridiculous to say fossils. Anyway, besides the point, let's not get caught up on it. I was talking about this wall, which I've talked about in several places, and both of these things are brought up, and people don't want to admit this wall contains shalogram shapes in it. I'm like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? Why are we having this discussion where you're denying that this wall has these shapes in it? I didn't just make it the fuck up. You can see it with your fucking eyes. What are you, blind? No, you're just looking at my credentials. That's what you're doing. That's the sad reality, is people, like, immediately go to my credentials and don't even notice this. Like, dude, you don't see that? You're telling me you don't fucking see that, like, distinct curved bend on this wall and say that's a little weird, and this one? Not to mention these. Like, are you guys fucking joking me? You have to be kidding. You literally have to be, like, consciously aware that it's, like, fun to fuck with me because I'm way too literal and I take things way too seriously. Which reminds me, in this conversation was, like, led to the concept of, well, like, the shale, and I was like, well, shale is probably a good material for currents to flow through, and someone was offended by that and started to ask me stupid questions. I'm just gonna point it out. It was a flawed fucking question, dude. Flawed question. He got in, he started just talking shit. I'm like, bro, you're talking shit. Why am I supposed to fuck? I'm just gonna, like, bring it up now. This is what I experience, not this dude. Oh, we're done. This one just comes out at me, and I'm like, oh, what do you think? I'm just gonna, like, ignore that you're talking shit right off the bat? He's like, Florida man, primate. I'm like, specimen. Like, okay, dude. So you'll check, like I said, you're checking my credential. Like, click profile. Oh, look, Florida. That explains it. That explains it. Okay, so she was not happy with me because I was like, oh, you're, like, denying what I'm saying, that this fucking wall, playing like this wall doesn't matter. I'm like, this wall fucking matters, dude. Like, I just brought this in, like, essentially what happened was, is my research is not considered. and I saw an opportunity to be like, oh, dudes, you guys are fucking not acknowledging, like, significant details. Like, scientist is, like, complaining about alternative hypothesis, and, like, the lack of rigor, and blah, 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 and someone's like, ah, well, just an argument on Twitter, of course, and I'm like, well, what about this? Like, here, alternative person who is, like, not happy with this scientist. Here, scientist who is, like, studies shallograms. What do you guys, like, maybe the scientist won't see, but maybe the alternative theorist viewpoint person might, like, care enough, be like, wow, that's actually interesting, to, like, see the reality of the situation, that is that deep, that scientists are denying that this fucking wall right here has shallogram features and that it's relevant. You're telling me this is irrelevant, dude? And then she linked me a book that doesn't even, I guarantee you this book does not describe this. I thought about it. Initially, I didn't, like, even look for it. She's like, go to your library. I'm like, it's $140. Go to your library. So to find the evidence that some book that's generally about Nepal geology talks about this structure specifically and explains away its shallogram features, it's just currents, and then subsequently says, even though we see this, we know that's not how shallograms formed, because they're fossils, and we've determined that because blah blah blah, and we've therefore explained the concept that that shallograms are caused by currents away, so that we can move on with the interpretation conclusion that they are fossils when they're actually caused by currents. That's the reality, is they're caused by currents. So people could just start dogpiling me. And then, Jimmy, you're fucking ignoring me. You guys don't know what I go through. I literally invested my retirement. I could maybe get a minimum wage job kind of thing. I certainly can't get a technical job with a bunch of arrogant assholes who think that they must have, like, this requirement met. They don't even acknowledge my fucking brilliance because they're fucking noobs. That's the reality. Pardon me. I don't want to be an offensive asshole. But it's just, I gotta speak my mind when I'm fucking flustered. Like, you fucking assholes. And then they do this. This happens where people all, like, agree with one another, so they start liking, like, one another's tweets. Oh yeah, not that. That dude doesn't get likes for speaking information. You get likes for being an asshole in response to him and shutting him down, and because we all gotta maintain this agreed upon consensus that we agree on, so we're gonna like one another's comments even though it's fucking wrong and the dude is speaking truths and we just don't fucking like it. That's what's happening. So this dude, and that's what I came here for, says, here's your fucking question and here's my response to you, dude. Why do we always find shale between layers of silty limestone? Let's go back to the conversation. Let's go to this fucking conversation so we can just, not just, like, saying it. So she says, pardon me, Dr. Holly Walters, it's just reality. This is just what's going on. She says this, then we go down, she says that, she says that. He says, this guy, Robert Dakota, just basically kind of like chill the fuck out. And I'm like, maybe. And she responded this way. There's nothing geologically anomalous about shallogram. Or no, sorry, that's to me. She responded to this in another way. Here. And I just felt, this is a place where I should put in this information. Like, if this wall is not a fossil, then shallograms are not fossils. Here's some shallograms above. with features of like those below, demonstrating conclusively, if you open your eyes and look at the fucking wall, no offense, people who are not doing it because they're offended, that it's a shallogram. Same here. Shallogram, shallogram, shallogram. Where shallograms originate, it doesn't make any sense unless they're literally shallograms. But if people are like, she says, I'm confused by this. There is nothing geologically anomalous. So this is how it goes. I'm confused by this, which is fine. There is nothing geologically anomalous. Now, this statement is false. I just showed you geological anomalies. So now we're in this conversation where you're just denying what I just showed you, Dr. Holly. That's what's happening. You're literally denying what I just showed you. And now I have to deal with the fact that you're denying it by saying there's nothing geologically anomalous. I have an entire chapter of my book dedicated to the fossil history of the Himalayas, which is fine, but you're missing the point that the fossils are an assumption. And I'm demonstrating they are not fossils. So we really have to address this alternative that they're caused by currents. That's the reality. And that's what, so there are shallogram features actually within the terrain itself, I say, because she denied the truth. Geology at no point in any way acknowledges, let alone explains the presence of these features. What am I to say when people just deny what is clearly evident when put before their faces? And given the location of them, obviously the location where there's anomalous shallogram features, I'm not finding these everywhere. I found them where shallograms originate, are distinctly caused by the process that shaped the terrain. She goes on to say, high altitude glacial lake that also contains parts of the Spiti shales. So she brings in, I haven't found much information on what they're composed of. So I'm like, okay, good. Shales, information, good. The same formation that produces shallograms from the ammonite fossil beds within. So yes, the rocks often display similar looking characteristics. She writes off. This is in fact known to geology. I said, wait a minute, you're telling me that because there's shallogram in this region containing fossils that this rock, this wall right here looks like a shallogram? I gotta deal with this right now, dude. I gotta deal with this. I'm sorry. I know I'm an asshole. I know people are like, God damn, even a woman, huh? Even a woman with other... I saw other things afterwards, like, oh, I'm such an asshole. Anyway. So, yes, the rock... So, essentially... Okay, we're getting somewhere, though. Shales. Okay, so it's shales. So I go on and say, this paper... So I take what she says. She points out it's Spiti shales. And I go on and say, this paper, which I find a paper, shows Jurassic shale formations in this region, inclusive of these locations. This actually corroborates that they are caused by currents because the shale, here's where this fucking arrogant asshole's question becomes, oh, you're so dumb. That's what he's trying to fucking prove. Arrogant asshole. I'll say it again. I'll fucking link you this video too. Hey, I talked about you, bro. That's what happens, man, when you're wrong and you fucking come at me like that when I'm trying to share fucking valid information. This actually corroborates they're caused by current because the shale is likely a useful material for being shaped by currents, is what he didn't like. and Kutch has a shallogram. So I just point out, oh, by the way, there are these same materials here, which also oddly has a shallogram here. Did you note? I'm pointing out to you there are large shallograms on the Earth that need to be like explained. Can't just be like, coincidence, while there's shallograms in the rocks, so the large scale takes their shape. No, see, this reveals, what she said reveals to me that there was a, like, dense material of shale that was just there. It wasn't solid. This is where the arrogant asshole got offended by my statement, was that I said shale is likely a useful material for being shaped by currents. Okay, so let's go on. I say other things. We're having a conversation. I jumped in the conversation, so when he jumps in, arrogant asshole guy, then it makes sense that it's fine. But when he jumps in offensively, let's see, I can add to this conversation. There's really nothing technically offensive about this. Yes, she studies shallograms. Yes, I'm denying her work, but it's literally true, and it is relevant to this conversation at hand. She is the person to have this conversation about shallograms with, at least begin the conversation, because who the hell cares about shallograms except for probably people in the region and me and her. Okay, so I go on. Let's go on. Maybe he comments here. I'm not sure. Okay, no. I guess I won't be making this a Baja BC focus. All you've done here is to demonstrate that you have no idea what shale represents in the geologic record. You can speculate all you want, but spamming the word truth won't help you. Okay, so when I read that, I was like, wait. Where did I spam the word truth? Yes, I know that what I speak is the truth, and you don't fucking know that, but I spam the word truth. Let's see. Perhaps I can add a... No, I don't see the word truth in that one. Let's see. No, I don't mention truth there. I don't seem to mention truth here either. That's a little odd. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. Huh. Weird. I don't see the word truth again. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I tried 8 years ago, and she says, I'm sorry, but you are still just speculating from pseudoscience. Best check yourself with that kind of labeling of my work, bruh. From pseudoscience, dear Lord. If your research is so conclusive as you said earlier, publish it. Oh yeah, take it to the people like me who are gonna deny it. Prove your case the same way that we all do. I tried 8 years ago. You know what people who, by the way, I can't fucking say this in Twitter. Like, I can't respond in whatever many characters or less. What the, like, sheer ridiculousness of that expectation. Yeah, if you agree with plate tectonics and you agree that ammonites are fossils, guess what? You don't have to write about it. You just say, oh, plate tectonics, fossils, here's what I have to say. You don't have to explain yourself. But when everything this world thinks is fucking wrong, and you explain this, all show they're all wrong, is undue burden, dude, to do it in a way that it's just like a crawl. I don't have fucking time for that. I tried it, so that's what I said. I tried it, and I was rejected offhandedly. That's what happened. Then I tried again, and I was mocked online by someone acquainted with the submission. peer review process does not care for the truth. So here's the word truth. What did I say? That my work was the truth? I didn't say in this. Yes, I did it like right now verbally, but not in this conversation here. I just said it does not care for the truth, but only for reaffirming preconceived notions. So it doesn't fucking care what people in those positions think they've already found the truth sufficiently, and they're just fine-tuning it. So they don't care for what the actual truth is. They're not like seeking it in the same way as someone who's like, all this is a bunch of bullshit, all of this has flaws in it, and let's work it out in truth. They don't care like that. And that's what I'm saying. I wasn't calling my work the truth like that fucking arrogant ass who responds and jumps in, chimes in. Oh, I'm gonna chime in. Let me help you guys put him down. He's talking a little too loud, a little too much, being a little too belligerent. I don't appreciate it when I know he's wrong. Let me fucking put him in his place. I saw some shit he said that I didn't understand, and let me prove it. That's what he did. So then I go on to say, concepts such as those I present are so widespread that it's an undue burden to present. Oh yeah, that's right. I just continued to fucking explain myself. That's right. So it wasn't, I was like, I ain't gonna let these character limitations prevent me from fucking explaining myself, motherfuckers. Oh, is that too many tweets? Sorry, I got shit to say. I tried 8 years ago and I was rejected. Okay, concepts such as those I present, undue burdens, sheer extent of basis in written format as scientists expect. It's an expectation thing. I don't have to meet your fucking expectations. Dude, if I got something of merit to bring to the table, what in the fuck are you doing telling me to jump through hoops to get it there? Are you fucking kidding me? People are ridiculous. Someone accepts plate tectonics, they do not prove it any longer. Just amend or add on to it and make it look more real. That's what they do. They don't actually prove it. They're not like, that Earth expansion thing definitely could apply to this data too, but we've figured out that plate tectonics applies better. No, they just said that ain't so. All we need to do now is just keep like making observations and like kind of applying them, and boom, we got this model. It just looks true. I say I wrote a book. I've written hundreds of articles. I have thousands of hours of content. It is not my fault that people write me off for saying things they are unaware of when they are saying otherwise to the public and confusing the matter when there is one truth. Again, the truth, but again, not explicitly saying that I found it. Just pointing out there's one truth, dude. Did we find it yet? Then what are we doing? Behaving like we fucking did. See, science, when push comes to shove, we'll be like, we didn't find it yet. We didn't find it yet. We're looking still. But when like no push comes to shove, they'll be like, we found it. We fucking plate tectonics. Oh, let's write this paper. Blah blah. So when the plates move, blah 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 blah. False. Don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So let's go on. This dude, so literally just casually read my comment and came in and commented and spoke his mind, arrogant and wrong, which I go on to say, okay, well, I'm an engineer who didn't choose. I literally admit I don't know that much about shale. You're right, I don't know that much about shale, but I can see all you have shown is how to jump on and be a fucking dogpiling asshole. Yep, I see. So then he goes on, question. Now we're fucking testing me? You fucking testing me? You don't even know me, dude. This dude is an arrogant asshole. Nick, get your shit together, bro. Coming from another arrogant asshole to an arrogant asshole like you and I could see your arrogant assholery. I'm sure it's affected you in the same ways as me. You know, people don't like that. Okay, so why do we always... So I read this question. I said, why do we always find shale between layers of silty limestone and layers of sandstone? Like, always. I really put a lot of like weight on the word always. I go on to say, oh, feel free to like show me some data. And he's like, "Ah, this isn't something you need a full-blown research paper. All you need is what I think is the answer." I'm like, dude, that's not what I was fucking getting at. Just because I fucking admit that I don't know that much about shale, and then go on to say, feel free to link me technical papers because I like technical information and technical conversations, you arrogant asshole. Otherwise, perhaps I will go on and do it my fucking self, you arrogant asshole. Am I offended? Obviously. This isn't the kind of thing about which you need to read a full-blown research paper. I just happen to love, and I mean love, asking super simple geology questions. So he acts like his question was super simple, but the reality is he said always, and it's just not a fucking true statement. Your question wasn't even true, dude. It literally was false. Dumbass. You get me, the dude who pays attention to details, looking at the details of your casual fucking rough draft words. Always. Well, I'm gonna fucking be like, what do you mean always? He said always. Let me specifically respond to this always. And so what I thought was, well, I'll think about it from like a chemistry way. Like, why are these layers like doing this? Like, what is really driving this? I'll give you an actual fucking answer, not some bullshit answer that because water precipitates it, kind of shit. That's just like casual and lazy and not true. That's the truth, dude. Is he doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Then he just goes on and acts like he fucking just like one-upped me with his stupid fucking worded question. Then I go on to say, why would I go, let's see, this super simple and super simplified are not the same thing. He doesn't appreciate the fucking validity of that. I'm open to converse if you are open to acknowledge I didn't choose to be in this position. Valid. And I'm an individual doing his best to demonstrate actual discoveries, like I was saying. What do you want, a fucking cookie to let me give this discovery to the world, you fucking arrogant assholes? Like, that's how I feel about this shit. All these fucking people stand in my way and be like, no, thank you. You don't have anything to offer us because we're arrogant assholes. We figured it out ourselves. We know that plate tectonics is true, even though it's not true. You fucking... And what he doesn't understand is what I said actually makes fucking sense. That's the truth. I said shales, likely. Which of these are composed of. So shales are generally brittle, so that's where he's like, there's aspects of it where there's like, what the fuck? Currents moving it. Also, he's thinking in terms of millions of years, which is invalid. Again, you just don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Nick. It's not true that the Earth is millions of years old. It's just assumptions based on constant rates of radioactive decay, which is an assumption. People don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's really legitimately to shut down the biblical interpretation and people who are atheists to control the microphone and force the conversation to insist upon the validity of constant rate of radioactive decay, but they don't know that the Earth expanded. They don't know that that was literally the Earth supernovaing on its own scale. They don't know that that released rapid radioactive decay of many particles and painted a picture of millions of years occurring, and therefore the process where this shale was under experiencing a current. It wasn't just a layer of shale. It was fucking wet, like moving material able to be molded like a fucking potter that shaped it with forces and currents that flowed through the fucking shale. Dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and what I said was valid. It feels good to know that he was actually just asking a stupid question and being an arrogant asshole, and unfortunately derailed what I had to say, really derailed, by acting like he could one-up me, by pointing out me not knowing something. Like, even if I don't, it literally is irrelevant. Like, you should know that you don't know everything either. I was like, okay, dude, so you want to fucking behave like you know better? Tell me about what you know about Mount Gurnar. That's my reaction to anyone who wants to act like they know fucking a thing more than I do. I'm like, tell me about Mount Gurnar then. Oh, you don't even know what that is? Alright then. So, Mr. Geologist, go on. Carry on, geologist. He's not even a geologist, though. This dude's an archaeologist trying to act like a scientist. I'm sorry, archaeologists. You guys are pseudoscientists. Like, so you don't have to go through, like, the technical shit. You just rely on technical people and then act like you fucking know what you're talking about. It's a little fucking cheating, honestly. That's what it is. It's just cheating. Is this... Yeah, I watched this. I watched it. Oh my god. I'm glad I went over to this. Where is it? Current.
Geode as shown in this picture here. But this geode and this magma that's coming...
Current. She starts talking about currents in this. I'm like... And the currents aligning preferred orientation, and saying that these currents are even detectable through a microscope in like sand and smaller grains. And that really hilariously, that's the beauty of my research, Nick, just FYI, the beauty of my research, when some arrogant asshole tries to like put me down and tell me I'm wrong with their arrogance and behave like their arrogance can like actually disprove what I'm saying. Oh my god. Then they point me in a direction, which is awesome, because they showed me that shales brought me to this concept, which really that is even happening, shows that like these currents on the boundary, there's actual lines wrapping around the stone where we can look at the currents that float along the boundary of the stones of shallograms. Let's find some that really like depict it well. Like, it depends on the circumstances. Like this one. See here, this line's here, and then it's here. And guess what? Over here, it's this way. Guess what's going on over here? It's this way. And then over here is this way. Isn't that odd how it wraps around? Almost as if there's some sort of current involved in shaping the rock. Oh yeah, because there is. It is so nice for new information to come up. That's why I said I'll get back to you, dude, because I know that when like, okay, I haven't like delved into something, that doesn't mean it won't apply to my research, like, and shed some light on things, dude. Okay, let's get back to this. Not this. Pardon me, Geo girl. What was I doing? Guess I was looking at shallograms here. I'm trying to find... did I must have closed it. Where in the... I must have closed that tab. I don't know what just happened. Let's just open this here. Not that one. Is that? Oh, this is the comments. Open this one. Someone responded to theirs. I know when I talk about shit, complaining, it seems useless and offensive and rude and things, but it really, like, this shit needs to get talked about, dudes. Like, scientists, you guys are not as, like, on it as you think you are. When you come at me like that, when I'm trying to share some information that's relevant to the conversation, you do not fucking stop me. It's simple, dude. Fucking ridiculous. Arrogant. It literally is just arrogance. I'll just call it for what it is and display my own and for everyone to see, but that's okay because that's okay. I'm on that shit, bro. I got a reason to be arrogant. I didn't ask for this, but that's where I am. Arrogant enough to defend my position from fucking people coming at me like that with their certainty because they were basically taught this shit. They didn't fucking, like, think it through themselves. They just were taught it and did a good job of learning the thing enough to believe it well enough to basically just see something like what I say that they just dismiss it. They're like, oh, I know so much about the thing that I learned that I just believed offhandedly without actually thinking through and realizing this assumption, 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 all these things that when you really think about it and realize the earth expanded, the plate tectonics not true, you realize that all this shit crumbles and you really don't know a fucking thing, and you gotta defer to someone who's you were an arrogant asshole to made him behave like this. Damn, dude. You must same, I guess. I guess we'll see where the chips fall, you know. Where is this paper about Australia? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Fucking so arrogant though, dude. It just annoys the shit out of me. People don't know what the fuck I go through. I could die tomorrow from my fucking ill health. Lack of attention, lack of any fucking energy into me, all this fucking energy expense. They get fucking paid for what they do, and then they can fucking come at me, the dude who doesn't get paid for what he does, and then judge me for not getting paid for what I do. Fucking stupid asses. Like, if you think about it, it's real clear who believes what they're doing more. The one who does it no matter what, or the fucking people who just kind of drink the Kool-Aid du jour, you know? It's not like believes it no matter what. Like, people like, oh, so even if evidence were to be presented. Good fucking luck, dude. You don't know my model. Good fucking luck. Understand the model that I've presented. Look for that evidence and fucking show it to me. Good fucking luck, dude. Because you don't think what you show me doesn't actually fucking disprove a thing. You just fucking help me on my way, guys. Oh my god. Well, there comes those curse words. Holy shit, this episode. There's a lot of pent-up energy that I just fucking released like a Baja BC emission, brah. Where is that? Australia. Maybe I should just come back and start a new episode because I was just such an asshole right now. I can publish it, but that way I can separate it too. Asshole 101. I'll just call it assholery 101. You know, on display here, on display in other ways. You know. Kind of like my rectum. God damn. That thing. If anything shows being an asshole, if any like illness, physical ailment to have of someone who's just like the epitome of an asshole, it's like an asshole problem. And that would be just, I guess. I'd be like, hey man, yeah, you know, evidence shows. Evidence shows. Sometimes I think about like deaf in one ear, half listening kind of thing. Like a tendency that just kind of, well, if you're only gonna half listen, then I guess you're only gonna half listen. Shit, just things of that nature. As my ears are like, huh? Okay. This, though, incredible. I got so distracted from how incredible this was. Okay, I'm gonna just end this recording. Maybe I won't even publish it because I was such a fucking arrogant asshole. I know, maybe I just needed to vent, but I feel like it doesn't really get vented until I hit publish. Oh, Lord. I'll be back. Peace.